Okay. Y'all, I don't know why I was over here whispering. This is probably because I was whispering to myself. Um, we're gonna go ahead and get started on chapter 8. She got about 6 pages. Let me see what chapter 7 looking like, because I might be able to. Chapter 9. Okay, because remember we had 3 pages of whatever Keisha was talking about. 1, 2, that one don't count. 3. Okay, so we got like 3. Okay, we got like 3 pages. 1. Okay, we got a quote from Todd Moskowitz. And then, I don't know. Chapter 8. Chapter 9 is doing a lot. Was that the end? Hold on, let me. Oh, wait, I thought we had 10 chapters. Did I miss somebody? Okay, that was. Okay. Oh, okay, chapter. We may have to. We can do half. We can do half. Okay, we'll get to. And then whatever that is, and then. Let me see. I gotta prep. Okay. Oh, that was Rocco. Okay, we might stop at Rocco. Okay, we can stop at Rocco. Okay, all right. Let me bookmark that. All right. Okay. So we're gonna do chapter 8, and then we're gonna do half of chapter 9, and then we'll come back to do the rest of chapter 9 tomorrow, and then maybe we'll do chapter 10. She doesn't look like she got a lot going on with chapter 10, to be quite honest. What is it called? The blame. Oh, no, number 9 is called The Blame Game. We're reading chapter 8 today. We're doing half of chapter 9 today, right? And then we'll come back and finish the rest of chapter 9 tomorrow. And then OJ's episode. That's the end. That's the chapter 10. Okay, so he ain't nothing but a few pages, and then we have an epilogue. So we should be wrapping it up tomorrow, hopefully. More than likely, we could be able to just wrap it up tomorrow, because I'm only leaving 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7 pages tomorrow to read it. That's just from chapter 9. And then I'm gonna go to my page. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. It depends how far we get. How soon we can get through chapter 8. I should have had me some Altoids or something. A little mint. I do got a banana. I probably should go get it now before I get started, because that do help. Okay, excuse me. I forgot. I had one left. I wonder, should I save it for in the morning? I'm gonna probably save it for in the morning. That really be helping out in the morning. That banana and graham crackers and peanut butter. Ooh. Okay, remember we got 3 pages. Keisha, she's talking. So this is just her talking. She got 3 pages. Let me see what she's talking about. Probably the same thing she was talking about during that interview on Breakfast Club. Hold on real quick. Hold on just a second. Just give me 1 second real quick. Get my iPad here. I thought this was just on the charger. Exit out of all this that he be having. Hold on, give me a second. I gotta log in real quick. And give myself a thumbs up. Because, you know. Real quick. Let's see what's going on. Nothing new, nothing new. Ali got a stand up going live right now. 24/7. Ali Sadiq TV. Oh, so he got his stand ups running live. Okay. That's not, is that Miguel? Oh my goodness. Miguel over there with Marco. Funny Marco, y'all. What did Erica Kirk say? Talking about full remarks. I don't think Candace went live today. Let me check real quick. Trust the science. She did go live. Why it didn't show up on my feed? She got 1 million views and it went 6 hours ago. Let me see. Did Corporate drop a video this week? Okay, no, he didn't. Okay. Damn, she did go live. Stop. Don't start. Finish the book. I am. Okay. Then I'm gonna just catch up with Candace another day. Okay. Chapter 8, The Pink Cloud. This is a quote from Keisha, Kayor, Gucci Mane's wife, in Power of Attorney. Whenever he has an episode, there's one person that he's angry at. It doesn't just happen overnight. It starts off subtle. And then it ends very aggressive. So I say usually it lasts about 2 weeks before it gets really bad. He's rude, very defiant, very disrespectful. So like, I can simply say, "Are you okay? What's wrong?" And he will say, "Nothing's wrong with me. What are you talking about?" And then I can tell by his eyes. His eyes start to look very demonic. Then I'm like, uh-oh. So then I'll be like, did somebody give you some drugs? And then I also get aggressive. But I've learned over the years how to deal with it and how to speak to him. Now I start to like talk to him like he's a child. So it's kind of like psychology. Now I'm like, okay, what's wrong with you? Did somebody give you a laced cookie? And I start to deal with him like he's 5. Because if I get aggressive, he gets aggressive back. I mean, I'm literally not scared of him, right? But you don't know what he's going to do or what he's going to say. If it was to happen now, I know he needs his medication. But back then, early on, I didn't understand it. He would never go in another episode with me around because I totally get it now. Before, I was confused. I'm like, what is happening? My heart starts to race. I don't know what to do. I'm calling all over the place, attorneys, doctors. What do I do with this guy? So this one episode, he was mad at me, which is the worst because I'm the closest to him and I'm the one that helped him and I'm going to take care of him. So during this episode, he hated me. I was the villain. I was the devil. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to call the police, but I remember the last time he had an episode, they called the police. And he did 3 years in prison. So I'm like, I can't call the cops because I don't want this guy to go to jail and I don't want it to be my fault, right? So the episode is lingering. I'm like on day 3 and I'm like, what am I going to do? I literally went on my knees and prayed, God, please help me with this because it's really sad. You're not looking at or speaking to the person you know. He's a stranger. I literally kidnapped him because I needed to get him to the hospital. So we had a condo and we have a house. I'm home. He's at the condo. He hates my guts. He doesn't want to see me. He doesn't want to be around me. He hates me no matter what I say. So I go to the condo now and he's like, hey, baby. And I said, hi. Then he says, go home. What are you doing here? Then I say, would you like some water? He says, yeah, I want some water. Let me cut this volume down because she loud. I said that a few chapters back. I'm like, okay, power of attorney, you coming off real mama-ish, real parental. Whew, goodness gracious. Imagine. I give him the water and he squeezes the bottle really hard, like an angry person. But I have security guards downstairs, like 6 of them. I planned this. So now he's in the shower. He's naked. And I'm in the shower with him. His mind goes to himself and then it snaps out. So, hey, baby. That's Gucci. And what are you doing here? That's the crazy person. So now I go in the shower with him and I'm like, are we going to get dressed now? Are we going home? He says, yeah, get my tank top. And so I go into the room. Hold on. Get his clothes and go back in the shower. He's like, didn't I tell you to go home? So now the bodyguards are hearing him because I left the door open. I'm not scared of him. But everyone's scared for me that he might hurt me. So they're listening. And I'm like, you know what? Just get him now. That's what I said, really loudly. So we put a towel around him and they literally put him in a headlock because he's ready to fight. He's like, I'm going to beat y'all motherfuckers up. And he put up his fist to fight the bodyguards. And I said, grab him. Grab him. And they grabbed him in the headlock and put him in the elevator. It's a condo, so we have security. And they're watching it on the camera. When the elevator opened, before we got to the ground floor, there was one of the security. So I just put my finger to my lips. Shh. Basically, just mind your business. Let me handle it. So we had the cars parked at the door, and we literally threw him in the back seat. We put him in the middle because he would jump out. So the bodyguards got him in the middle, two on the edge, somebody driving, somebody in the front. Then I'm driving my own car, and we go to the hospital. I called way ahead and said, I have a celebrity who is going through an episode. I need treatment. So they're like, okay, we have a bed for him. Come in the back door. We get to the hospital. He thinks he's a gorilla. So he hated me. But in his mind, he thinks he's an animal. So he's walking in the hospital like, yo, don't be looking at me. It's really sad for me because I don't want to see him like this. It makes me sad. I want to cry. So he goes in the room and it's like a psych room. It's just a cot bed, like a prison, basically. I've never been to prison, but I'm assuming it's a cot bed and that's it. There's nothing in there, no shoestrings, nothing, because they'll hurt themselves. So they put him in the room. I go in the room with him and I'm like, okay, we're at the hospital. He's still cussing me out. When they come in there, he gets erratic again. So they just held him down and gave him a shot, and they put him to sleep. His brain has to reset. And when he's going through episodes, he doesn't sleep. And when he doesn't sleep, it makes it 100 times worse. So the cure for the episodes is medication and rest. So they gave him the shot, and he literally would sleep 12 or 24 hours. Ooh. Ooh. Just imagine sleeping for 12 to 24 hours. Oh my goodness. Wow. The dreams. The dreams I would have. Man, I would love to sleep for 12 hours. I'm talking about roll over. Get up, use the bathroom, roll back over. 24? Sheesh. I'm talking about I got me a little saltine crackers to grab on the way to the bathroom, on the way back. Snuggle cuddle. 12 to 24, please. I need it. Once he gets the shot, I go home because I know he's not going to wake up. But of course, I go back there. Now I'm like, okay, I wonder how he's doing. He says, go home. That's how I know when he's not cured. He's like, call my attorney. I want a divorce. A lot of people don't forgive him, but it doesn't bother me. His words don't hurt me because, again, that's not my husband I'm speaking to. They were like, he needs a therapist. So the therapist comes. But for me, you can't talk to him until he's healed. Because who are you talking to? He cussed the therapist out. He cussed me out. He's like, I don't even know why she's here. I already told her earlier I want a divorce. Get her out of here. So I said, you know what? I'm going home because you're being rude. I went home for real because I have to show him, right? So now it's been like 4 days. They move him into a nice, decent room with a king-sized bed, a TV. It's not a crazy room anymore. And I'm like, this guy's not better. Why did they do that? I don't want him in a crazy room, but I don't want them to be so loose with him where he escapes because he likes to escape from things. He'll leave the hospital, jump out of cars. He's not going to stay. The next day, they let him out. And I was like, oh shit, this isn't good because he's not well. I didn't pick him up because he didn't like me, remember? His friend picked him up. He comes home and he's like, bring me some money. Give me some money and give me some clothes. And I'm like, no, because he'll give it away or throw it away. So he puts on his clothes and he leaves. I can't hold him in the house. There's nothing I can do. He goes to the gas station, buys gas like a normal person by himself. So he goes to the condo again. And then when he gets to the condo, he calls me to come pick him up. It's an hour away from our house. I go there and I pick him up. Now we're having a long talk. If he was 50% better before, now he's 85% better just in that hour. So he's getting better. He comes home. Now I have medication. It got better from there. He wakes up. We have a talk. We have breakfast. We have dinner. I'm like, listen, you're going through an episode. Now he's coming back to himself because now he's talking to me with sense. I'm like, do you know what you said to me yesterday? And he's like, no. So I tell him. And he says, I ain't say all that. Really? I wanted to record it just to show it to him when he's better. But I also didn't want to record it because I don't want him to feel embarrassed. If you say so, Keisha, but that's the end of hers. There's this chapter 8, the pink cloud. That was Keisha, you know. You know, her and Gucci should listen. I'm just, I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking. Um, this is third book, and that's the first time I've ever, you know what I mean, like captured her character. And that was just, you know, I don't want to say her quote, but yeah, they need to go ahead and write a book together next time. That would be fun. I like that. I like that. I think I like that. Um, that idea, having them both write a book, like Sherry and Tony Gaskin when they wrote the book together. I think they would tag team the chapters, so it'd be like Sherry writes the chapter, Tony writes the chapter. It'll be like boom, 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 boom. It doesn't have to necessarily be like that, but I think that would be really good for them to both tag team on a book. I don't think she got a book. She got like her little fitness line, because I had bought the little waist trainer with the legs and stuff, the thigh thing attached to it. But I don't think she done wrote a book. That'd be pretty dope for both of them to, like, you know, tag team. I'm just saying. But let's finish, or let's begin chapter 8. There's this thing they teach us in rehab called the pink cloud. Let's say you've been in rehab for 90 days. You're thinking straight. You're eating right. You're dried out. You ain't been in an environment where you were abusing substances. So you feel like you got it, right? You're confident. You're telling everybody, sharing everything you've learned, sharing everything that you've learned. You've been in groups, sharing with other people. You're being open with yourself. You're on this pink cloud. And that's how you relapse. Here I was, a brand new man. I was out of prison. And for the first time in my adult life, I was off probation. From the age of 21, I always had it hanging over my head. And now it was finally done. And I was at the tail end of my 30s. Plus, I was married now. Everything was great. I had bought my wife a house, and then I had this nice condo about an hour away in the Porsche building in Miami. It was really nice, and it cost me a lot of money. It's where I would record, chill, and even work out. I was healthy. I was able to travel and perform my music. It all made sense to me now. The problem was I got too comfortable. This is where the addiction leaves, but the mood disorder stays. This was that defining line, my defining line, because really, I had no desire to take drugs anymore. I was a changed man. It didn't feed me. It didn't numb me. I didn't need it, and I didn't want it. My brain was still delicate. And even without lean or pills or whatever, I still had to take care of it. But when you've constantly been told that the source of your mental health decay was resting in a cup of codeine and Sprite, you get a little too convinced that they might be right. Of course, the drugs played a part in the worst of it all, but without taking my health seriously, I couldn't be my best. I also didn't factor in that I'd been in prison for 3 years. And while I consider it to be my saving grace, there's so much about being in prison that affects your mental health. The institutional mentality of it all, where when you get out, even if you're a celebrity like me who gets to make a whole personal brand out of changing his life, you still feel like a caged animal that just broke loose. There is no amount of money or fame in the world that separates you from the reprogramming that needs to be done after you leave prison. Oh, let me say it again for those in the back because I like that one. Oh, I should have. You know how I need all the quotes I can get. And we ain't quoted in a minute. We haven't quoted in a minute. Let me, cause y'all ain't even, let me see, chapter 8. Oh, I think I was doing pages too. 180. I got it. Hold on, page 180. Charlie just look different on this doggone iPad, honey. I didn't think I was gonna need my animation. It's a little late. Ain't nobody got no water on. Chapter 8. Did the heater just come on? Look, I'm like, she revving up like somebody finna take a shower. I know it's cold, but I'm like, honey, ain't nobody using you right now. Not that I know of. The institutional mentality of it all. That wasn't my sentence. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out why that water heater just revved up like that. Page 180. My bad. She threw me off because I'm like, excuse me. Get off my gas bill. There is no amount of money or fame. Let me see. In the world. Oh my God. That separates you from the reprogramming that needs to be done after you leave prison. Wow. Give him this little quote, y'all. Oh, hold on. Let me get your Wi-Fi on. She gonna be like, not delivered. Okay. Trying to figure out why that water heater on. Ain't none of my business. And let her do what she do. All right. There is no amount of money or fame in the world that separates you from the reprogramming that needs to be done after you leave prison. I stand by that. But when I got out, I still had to be on house arrest for a little bit. So I used my condo as the address where I could record songs, exercise, and gear up for what's next. I had plans, lots of them. Then, when house arrest ended and I was no longer on probation, I was a free man. It was time to work, no matter how hard. In my mind, my only responsibility was to keep my career going strong. I traveled a lot to and from Atlanta, working with my artists and spending long nights in the studio again. I wasn't high, but I wasn't making sleep a priority either. I couldn't even imagine a sleep regimen where I was traveling back and forth between my home in Florida and my office in Georgia. I was hardly eating. I was so concerned with staying this new Gucci that food was a problem. Also, who has time to eat when you're just constantly in work mode? And then when we'd all go out, I might have a drink to celebrate. But that was honestly about it. My medication was not a perfect fit either. The first one just made me feel flat out terrible. I was sluggish, I was not creative, and worst of all, I started to gain some weight back. For me, that was almost the deal breaker on the meds because I associated so much of what the public thought of the new me by how I looked. If I started going out with some pounds on me, then maybe people would think I'd backslid. There goes Gucci, they might say. It'll only be a matter of time before that lean belly comes back. I couldn't have that be a headline, so instead of switching up the medication, I simply stopped taking it. I simply stopped taking it at all. Taking it at all. Okay. That's what it said. It had caught me off guard too, that sentence. I simply stopped taking it at all and quit eating to lose back the weight. I didn't want to feel bad. I didn't want to look bad. And I needed to be creative to get this music out. In my mind, I was better anyway. I didn't actually need medication. To me, the episodes were in the rear view. They were gone now. That was the old Gucci. The new Gucci was fit. He was clear. He was a brand new man. My wife wasn't convinced. My wife wasn't as convinced. You've got to stay on point, Keisha told me. Don't even drink. Not one drink. I don't care if it's one beer once a week. You can't make any changes or be doing anything differently from your new routine. I didn't completely ignore her, but I didn't completely listen either. Sure enough, the signs of an episode started right up again. I think I realized that my wife was right about her warnings. So subconsciously, I was mad at her for it. And when your mind stops working again, the paranoia sets in. And I started thinking, maybe she wished this upon me. So now the one person in this world I could trust became my enemy. All because she didn't want me to hurt myself. I stood there in my condo and I looked at myself in the mirror. Week by week, I watched my body get skinnier and skinnier. I was working so hard that I didn't even shave or go to my barber. The hair on my head was long, and so was the hair on my face. But my cheeks were sunken, only filled in by my massive beard. The muscle definition in my arms was so cut and defined. I felt strong, unbeatable. You look like a gorilla. So what if I do? Gorillas are the king of the world. Yeah, but you're not a gorilla. Gorillas are the kings. You're not a king. You're just an animal. When the gorilla comes for you, you better be ready for him. He can climb to the top of a tree and be on top of the world. You can't. You're just an animal. I walked out onto the balcony of my penthouse condo. There was no floor above me. I was at the top of my tree, the king of my world. I am the gorilla. I heard my engineer coming through the door. He was on the phone with my wife, who was checking up on me. She was worried, especially since she was now public enemy number one. Gucci's doing real good, he told her. He's better now. We're just working, and I brought some groceries to cook. I walked over to the bag of groceries. There was a packet of ground beef. I looked at it, ripped through the cellophane, I believe that's cellophane, yeah, took a fistful of raw meat, and I bit into it. I'm a primate after all. Who needs to cook? Lights out. Lights on. I looked around me in the backseat of a car with a towel wrapped around my waist. Who are all of these people? Did they all see me butt naked? There was one familiar face in the car, my personal trainer. He was the only person I actually saw every day. And even though at that point we had only known each other for a few months, my wife was calling him daily and asking if he noticed any changes in me. Yeah, he's acting a little funny, he told her. Something ain't right with him. He couldn't put his finger on it, but he didn't have to. It was all the information my wife needed. And that's how she knew that I was getting worse. Eating raw meat was the breaking point. My wife later told me that the reason why my personal trainer was in the car that day was because she wanted one familiar face there with me, since she knew it couldn't be her. My trainer was the one who drove me to the mental hospital. It was a job he didn't have to do, but I'm so grateful that he did it. I had some conversations with Todd Moskowitz, who told me, if this medication doesn't work for you, we can find you another one that will. We had a long talk about it, and he gave me some advice on making sure that I found the right doctors. When it comes to these things, people don't always have a one done situation. They may not have the best medicine for them immediately or the right medical team. And if something isn't right, you have to advocate for yourself and be pointed in the direction of other methods and medications to see what will work. That's when he also explained to me the value of therapy, where I can express all of this to a professional who is there to help me. They had given me a therapist at the facility, and while I wasn't too receptive at first, so my wife tells me, I later realized I had to put my thoughts somewhere in addition to just putting it into my music. This was new territory for me because it involved doing something that I wasn't accustomed to doing, asking for help. We can take a break. Coming down to the end. That's because I know that we're going to read a little bit of chapter 9, so I just wanted to kind of... It took a good while, almost a few weeks, but my brain finally settled down. During that spell, I missed Rolling Loud in Miami when I was scheduled to perform there. This, for me, was a low point because ever since I got out of prison, I made sure to never miss a show date. I didn't want to be that person anymore. So to miss Rolling Loud had me feeling terrible. I was also supposed to shoot a music video with Wiz Khalifa for a song we recorded called Real Rich. Wiz flew down to Miami, but I was in the mental hospital. My wife had been in touch with my label, and while she wasn't too transparent about all of the details, she relayed to them that I was hospitalized. When I got out, I was so down on myself. Wiz always showed me love, and I was a disappointment. I was still very private about what I was going through, so I'm not sure what the label even told him. I made sure to let him know, though, that I would pay him for his troubles, his travel, anything he needed to reshoot the video. Hell, I'd fly him on a private jet. I had to go in the hole with my money to show him how sorry I was. That's how bad I felt. Ashamed that while I thought I was resting comfortably on that pink cloud, another dark storm had come. You can see when we finally shot that video, I was wearing a hat because I had cut all my hair off at the mental hospital, and it was just growing back. I didn't want anyone to notice my haircut, thinking that maybe I was off again. The truth of the matter was that I was off again, briefly. But I didn't know how to express that when I had just shown the world what a changed man I was. Me with short hair was almost triggering me back to the days when I felt like my hair hurt. I was just so embarrassed. I didn't know yet that I could show that side of me to the world and maybe explain what was going on. I was too wrapped up in the movie of it all. how I overcame my obstacles and became my best self. I should have reminded myself that nobody's perfect. My wife asked me if I remembered anything about the day that I was checked into the psych ward. And outside of wondering if anybody saw me naked, I really didn't remember much. When she explained to me what happened, I felt sick. I couldn't believe I did that to her, of all people. I was so upset that I would ever tell her I wanted a divorce and that I hated her. She understood that wasn't me, though. And I suppose that's all that matters in the end. The sickness and in health. Ooh. Mm. He slid them vials in there real quick, in sickness and in health. Good job. Oh my goodness. You thought you were a gorilla, huh? Keisha said. I sat there in complete shock when she said that part. This whole time, I thought that was all in a dream. But no, it was a real life nightmare. It taught me a valuable lesson, though. Something I've taken with me on this path. There is no permanent cure for me. It's a lifelong dedication to making sure that I'm always well rested, that I'm in shape, that I take my medicine, and most of all, that I take heed of what my wife says to me. She's the one who sees me the most, and she's the one who understands me. My personal trainer later told me, "Your wife is the realest ever. You're lucky to have such a woman like that." She was so concerned about you, and she did everything she could to make sure you were safe. That woman really loves you. Don't I know it? I don't need to find my pink cloud anymore. I married her. And scene. Good job. Nice work. Chapter 8. This is what we were waiting for. Emotions, emotions. Look, you thought you was a gorilla, huh? Keisha. Look, we need a book from Keisha, ma'am. I'm advocating. Ma'am, excuse me. Tag team with him. I know he got a contract. Well, who was this? Simon and Schuster. Let me see what it is. Okay, we're at an hour. I got an hour over here and I got 53. So we're gonna stop. We're gonna sing. We're gonna come back. Retitle chapter 9. So that way the video isn't too long. Okay. In the meantime, in the between time.